Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your businesses. You know, I've been playing around with the idea of listeners out there who might have the next great radio show idea. And we got so many responses. It was overwhelming. And I don't want to get too much into hyperbole, but it was even breathtaking, the sheer volume of creativity and interest out there for the next great show idea. And basically, from what I can tell, very few people are working anymore. Virtually everyone is by a computer or by a TV or by a radio absorbing information being produced by other people. I don't know how our economy sustains itself, but, there's no question about it. People like information. People like to have fun. And I think everyone loves infotainment. And so which is what we try to do here on The Price of Business. Well, I got Nina Parr here on the program. She's got a website called Sheify. That's SHEIFY.com. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Is that right?
You did. That was perfect.
Great. Tell us a little bit about Sheify before we come up with your proposed radio program.
Yeah, so Sheify is a for-purpose business, so we donate a portion of our profits to a local nonprofit here in Denver, Colorado. And what we do is we want to put more she into things that haven't traditionally been receptive to that, so especially technology, but starting off with a younger generation. So, more focused on the women or the young girls in high school, getting them to think about their career at an early age and all the different industries that they could go into, and providing more inspiration than what we've seen out in the market before.
Very good. By the way, I'm noticing here at Sheify.com that it's in the process of being relaunched. That's always a lot of fun, having had done thousands of those over the years, which is hard to believe considering how short the Internet's been here. But anyway, do you have another place where people can look, like a Facebook page or something, where people can get some more current information?
Yep, they can find us on Facebook by just typing in Sheify, and it should pop right up. And the relaunch should be in about a month. I originally launched as an e-commerce site to raise awareness and ran into some roadblocks. I mean, I'm sure most entrepreneurs can relate. And then, but it got me thinking about my bigger vision for the company. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Talk a little bit about the radio pitch you gave us.
Yeah, so I was thinking it would be really interesting to have a radio show that's focused solely on women entrepreneurs and what their day-to-day is like and how they overcome the obstacles that they overcome. Because for me, what gave me this idea is actually how I start my morning. And if I don't do this, my whole day is shot sometimes. I get up and I go to the gym and I put on a podcast or...
You'll be listening to something that you'll find useful for your business or something useful for your nonprofit work.
Yeah, so I'm thinking something that would be inspiring to help people overcome the challenges that we all face as entrepreneurs, but from a female perspective, because I think that women face different challenges than men face. And it would be interesting to find something out there like that, because there's so many podcasts and radio shows that focus on men, and I think there's a need for more that focus on women.
Yeah, no question about it. And I think it is interesting how so much of the culture is still very male-centric, to be honest with you. And yet the reality is that some of the most creative and innovative entrepreneurs out there are females.
Yeah, and they're doing amazing work. They're really helping people, and they're solving big problems out there. And I think that it's interesting because there's so much change happening in all of the different industries, from the startup scene to the large organizations, recruiting. I have a lot of experience there. So I think that companies could actually get a lot of value from listening to a show like that as well.
Yeah, no question about it. And it sounds like, though, from your pitch, and that you're really, really early in that process. You haven't really begun to do much yet on that, or am I off?
No, it's true. This is my fifth startup. So I formulated the idea in January, and it's completely transformed since I started. So I'm going through the process, working with a lot of mentors and people in the community.
Okay. All right. So if you were to do such a program, I'm sure like virtually everyone else, you'd want to start as a podcast.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity with podcasts right now, and people are really getting addicted to them. So I thought that would be a very fun place to start.
Yeah. So tell us about, realistically, when you would begin something like this.
Oh, I love to build things, and I would start probably this summer and just get it out there. I think that's the best way to do it. When you have the idea, just get going. It'll morph, and you'll have to shift, but it's better to just start, because otherwise you'll just it could take forever to get it launched.
Exactly. You know, the biggest enemy to getting things done is the quest for perfection. And it's usually just bad. And really, it's a lot of fun for the listener to see shows morphing and growing and developing and be a little primitive when they first began. Some of the best things out there started pretty primitively. I don't know if you ever saw the very first video on YouTube, but it was one of the co-founders visiting the zoo. And he had like a 3-minute, talk with the camera about his visit to the zoo that day. That was the very first video on YouTube. You know, and
I did not see that, but I'm going to have to go find it.
Yeah, go look up the first video on YouTube. It'll blow your mind. And look what it is today. And so it's extraordinary when you think about it. So, so as far as like ideas of topics, do you envision this being guest driven, where you bring on different guests to talk about different topics? How do you envision this happening?
So I feel like it would be fun to find women entrepreneurs and people anywhere in the world. That's the beauty of podcasting. You can conduct an interview with someone in Australia and be in the States, and then focus on more of the daily routines. Like, what does the morning look like? How do you conduct meetings? What happens when you have something that completely disrupts your day and you have to figure out how to continue staying motivated and get everything on your to-do list off? I think those are topics that a lot of women and men would benefit from, and just help them with their productivity, motivation, inspiration, and all of the things that us entrepreneurs need to stay focused.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess you would probably do it like weekly is what I would envision.
Yeah, I think weekly is a good way to start. And, I'm not John Lee Dumas. I don't know if I could do one every single day. So
yeah, I'm not sure if you'd want to. Yeah. And having listened to some of Don Imus's work, I know I don't want to hear it every day. So he's kind of dreary. But anyway, that's great. Well, I'm excited to see what happens and see how this pans out. By the way, where are you geographically? What part of the country?
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, well, what a beautiful place and great central location to be able to have people on from. Obviously, it would be done virtually anyway, but it'd be cool. It's exciting to hear this, and I love to hear about these ideas. I really hope that as it progresses and grows, you'll be keeping us posted.
Oh, definitely. I will for sure be letting you know and staying in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and by the way, when will you be relaunching Sheify.com?
I think in about a month. That's my goal, and we'll see how everything shakes out. I mean, you just never know with these things.
Literally one day at a time.
Exactly. That's the best way to tackle anything like this.
Yeah, great. Well, what made you decide to make the shake-up, if you will, in the way you were doing your business? You talked about how you reinvented yourself again.
Yeah.
What prodded that?
Well, I had a huge manufacturing issue, to be honest with you, and then so I had to take the site down, and it wasn't a choice of mine. And so I took a step back and looked at the bigger vision. And like I said, it wasn't there yet. It wasn't something that I could see myself doing that I was super passionate about. So I started talking to different people, and I attended the Authority Conference here in Denver that was hosted by the Rainmaker platform and Copy Blogger. And that's when the epiphany went off. I was, listening to all of these amazing speakers and talking to all the people who were attending the conference and bouncing ideas off of them. And it just hit me.
Well, I think it's awesome. Glad you're sharing your story with us. Look forward to see how things unfold. And you certainly know how to reach us.
Yes. Thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate that.
You bet. When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here can be found over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter, and you're listening to The Price of Business.